Hey everyone, welcome back to Old School AOT. We have a cool game for you today between TroyBR, aka AnnaBR, playing his favorite Kronos, against EX aka Intel GP. Now, GP is playing Loki, and people really didn't know GP for Loki, but he was actually a really strong Loki player. GP actually mained Loki on Age of Mythology Vanilla, and thus has a lot of experience with him, even though he didn't play him so much in the Titans. However, from time to time in the Titans, you would see GP pull out Loki when he was in a situation where he fought his Isis, despite being really strong, just wasn't the god that he needed to win certain specific matchups. So you would see GP pick Loki to countersieve 4 players in tournaments and stuff like that on certain matches, and occasionally to play against Atlantean players too, just because on certain matchups Isis could struggle against both Thor and Atlantean, despite being stronger overall. So it looks like Troy is opening up with pretty standard, just send my guys out onto food. Probably going for a fast advance. Although that might be a little hard considering that he doesn't really have that much hunting-wise other than that we can see. So we'll have to see if he sticks with that or not. But right now he definitely is sticking for it. Maybe we'll see a 355 or something. Going back to look at GP, we see that GP, let's see, what is he doing? 2 dwarves, so this is a little strange. He has not gone for hunting dogs, and instead he is going for early dwarves, which is really, really unusual. GP was a really, really smart player, so I'm sure he has a reason for doing this that we will see shortly. Anyway, moving out to his big clump pile, and you should easily get classical with that. Troy putting down his manor is expected. But we do not see a temple going down yet. Unusual, very unusual. Perhaps Troy is going for a later advance. And he is not scouting his opponent quite aggressively as he usually does when he goes for a rush. So that is indeed a possibility that he could be going for a later advance than normal. Perhaps just out of respect for his opponent's Loki play. Because, of course, the players were all very familiar with each other in this era, and Troy would have known that even though GP didn't play much Loki on the Titans, he really was still an extremely skilled Loki player. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see if that's some sort of a respect play or something, why he's not going for the rush right now. And, oh, here we go, Temple going down. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty standard 430 type advance for TroyBR. GP is, of course, harassing the oracles of Troy away to try to prevent a rush coming in. Even though there isn't a rush, you can't blame him. Rushes are just super scary, so yeah. Anyway, we can see that GP has gone for this really fast advance with no hunting dogs. He should be advancing about 408 or so. So, weird build order here. I don't know entirely what to make of it, but it was cool. Maybe you guys will find it interesting. Yeah, but he will be up really quick. So, this was a thing that GP would do a lot when he would play against Kronos. Regardless of what civilization he was playing, he would make sure to tweak his build order so no matter what, he would be up really, really early. Like, here we go. We're getting a 407 rush, not rush, but defensive Heimdall build coming in. And this would allow him to do all sorts of things, mainly just be ready for Kronos and not give Kronos that much time to just act unimpeded. These oracles will be forced back due to the Einherjar chasing them, of course. Getting 2 longhouses right away. Huh. Let's take a look at Troy. Troy has just advanced himself. He did take a few seconds idle villager time in there somewhere, so not a big deal. Atlantean economy is still really strong, so one counteract's coming down. GP has moved all his cows over here. Huh. He wants as little idle time as possible because he knows against a player as good as Troy, literally those seconds are going to matter, and he needs every unit he possibly can have. Another Promethean coming out for Troy. And he's getting a Catakelp day. Interesting unit composition, especially since Troy does yet not see his opponent's units. He does not see this Raider yet, so it seems that he knows his opponent very well and is sort of ready. We are seeing Cairo Ballista being produced. So this army theoretically directly counters everything that GP has. However, GP does have a bigger army, and he has killed that tower, you know, just getting the favor up. And because of that, this forward house is not an issue yet that he built. Because GP is just trying to pressure and make Troy fight in his own base. Which he probably will be successful in doing because Troy must defend this. He does have Mermillo coming out, so that's very good. But Troy must defend this. He doesn't want to just lose a counteract for nothing. And we will see the fight go down. Troy has the advantage just due to fighting by his buildings. So it's going to be hard for GP to win this fight, I would say. However, GP did spawn an Einkeeper there, though, so that's one of the best spawns you can have, of course, between the entire army. And he is doing a lot of damage with these tanky, high damage myth units, so... Seems as though Troy will hold, but he definitely is taking some losses in order to hold. And GP continuing to send out his military across the map. Killing off this last Einherjar. GP now hunting the Gatherables there. Very unusual play. And these last raiders will, I imagine, start to retreat. They don't want to die from nothing. Taking control of that cow again, which actually doesn't hurt, because as we see, Troy is starting to run out of food, having killed the cows over there. And now he's coming out onto the chickens, which are not the most optimal food source, so getting that cow back is actually nice. Lots of Cairo Ballista in the army. He really doesn't want to lose this game just to Herseer. You can't really blame him. Losing to just Herseer is never fun. GP's raider is coming around, and he probably will be going for some sort of raid from the back of Troy's base, so we'll have to see what happens with that. This Oracle has been moved by Troy, and I guess he's going to try to get more line of sight, but GP sees it and reacts immediately. He's not going to let him get away with that play. Two throwing axemen coming back to kill it. And here come the raiders of GP, and Troy will see them pretty quickly, I'd imagine. Yep, there we go. So he should be able to react if he's paying attention, killing that house in the front. And GP's raiders are just going to attack the military barracks. This was kind of fruitless, but let's see what it can do. The raiders being picked at by Kronos, so they're just going to run off. They're not going to take that fight, they're just going to run off. He knows the main army's probably reacting. And yep, he's running before he loses too many units, so that's very intelligent. We have this really strange army composition from GP where he has all these raiders, and then he has TAs and two Einherjar, as well as something. What is in that tower? Oh, it seems his Ulfsark was in the tower. So this is a really weird army composition. Like, just to me, this is super strange. Like, this is a sort of army composition I'd expect to see against a Norse player. Like, if you're going against a 4 or something, no Herseer at all. You're not 4, you'd expect to see a little Herseer. So this is really strange, and not liking this army comp against all these Cairo Ballista from Troy, especially if his raiders over there. So GP doesn't like it either, and his army's just going to pull back immediately, which he pretty much has to do. Troy deconning, so not a bad move, not a bad move. And now GP's Raiders are coming from the back, and perhaps there will be a fight. And they are coming in. Oh, but they're gonna bounce back as quickly as they go. Troy gonna kill a villager or two. And another army from Troy just sort of coming around. So this army, I really don't know. This is really weird because, as you can see, GP clearly has the resources to build some other army, but instead he's sticking to this strange Einherjar TA Raider army. And I don't think this looks like a great situation for GP. And he will be fighting here, but against these Cairo, I think this is a really bad fight. Towers do go down, so that's good. He's gonna need them. But yeah, this fight just went horribly bad for GP, and I don't see how he can recover at this point. Definitely, you see these games a lot in earlier AOT games. You just see this really, really weird style stuff, even from good players. Like, GP was an amazing player, and actually he didn't play half bad this game, but for some reason he built a really, really strange army composition, which, as we see, just really domed him in this fight. I can't help thinking that GP could have done way, way better if he just had a more modern, shall we say, army composition, because as you see, his score really wasn't that far behind at all. Looking at that, he was actually way ahead on all population. Not on military, but even so. Way ahead on resources, too. So anyway, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. I think just shows how strange games could be before the meta developed. And yeah, we'll catch you next episode of Old School AOT.